got crazy nice in Atlanta all of a sudden too.
Really?
It's like 65 today, 75 tomorrow.
Yeah, I love it. February, 60 degrees. Like, bring on the global warming.
I think this is just normal for like the South. Like
Yeah.
winter's a lot shorter in the South. I think. I mean, whatever. It's not. It's not worth.
Not
Because you
Colorado.
guys, that's the problem with Denver, dude.
Well, yeah, we
Like
probably have like three more snows, four
you
more
probably
snows.
got like 3 more blizzards.
Yeah.
Yes. Between now and the middle of May.
Yep. Or
I
it could
would.
just, or it could just stay like this.
It's not going to. That's the thing. You have March and April ahead.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, winter's
psychological.
well now it doesn't even like get cold until like December or January either here.
Yeah,
No,
that's
the winters come late here now.
I know it's like that's what I think. If there's any global warming, is like it doesn't start to get cold until December and it snows until the middle of May.
Yeah, it's different than from like even when I was like growing up. It's different.
Yeah, dude, I've lived through 2 freaking October blizzards.
Yeah. No, it doesn't
You
even
know,
like. Well, I remember like getting ready for like Halloween and stuff when I was a kid. It was like, is it going to be snowing or is it not going to be snowing? And now
dude,
it's just like
yeah.
it's going to be nice.
Almost every Halloween of my entire life, you had to have a jacket except for
Yeah,
one under your
yeah,
costume.
no, 100%. Me too. And
Right?
now you don't.
No, that is kind of weird to think about.
Yeah.
But like, did you live in Colorado when the Broncos won their first Super Bowl?
I mean, I did. What was that? Like 96?
Yeah, 97.
Oh, yeah, I was here, but I mean, I was three, so I don't really
Right.
remember.
So you probably don't remember, but in that season, the Broncos had a game that was at the Buffalo Bills. And it was like a really important game because that year the Broncos won the Super Bowl from the wild card position. So every game like was really important.
Hmm.
And you've probably I don't know you've heard the story before, but we had a freak October blizzard where it snowed like 2 feet in on like October 22nd. And the Broncos had to fly out to Buffalo and everything in Denver was shut down. And they were afraid the Denver Broncos were going to have to be the first team to forfeit an NFL game
Because they
since
couldn't go.
the 40s, dude, because they couldn't everything was closed. And so this is back, yeah, it was DIA. So what they did is DIA cleared one runway just for the Broncos plane. But then the next problem was getting all the players to the airport to
Yeah,
get on the plane. And it is a crazy story because a bunch of players like Steve Atwater and somebody else, dude, they got to the airport because their neighbors had snowmobiles. Like literally their neighbors snowmobiled their asses from like Highlands Ranch all the way to DIA and got them on the plane, and they barely made it
damn.
to Buffalo, and then they
Heard
whooped the
that.
Bills' ass.
That's pretty gangster, honestly.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I remember because like my buddy Dave had a house, a big old house, and he had a second story deck, and there was so much snow that we built a massive snowboard like drop in ramp
Oh,
because
that's cool.
his backyard was like super long and super downhill. So we built a deck, like we took like old doors and a bunch of stuff, packed a bunch of snow on it. So you dropped in off the handrail on his second story deck and went down the backyard and hit a jump in the backyard. There was so much snow.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was fun.
that's cool.
Old school Denver blizzard stories.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No,
anywho, what do you want to talk about? Freaking, you got any?
well, it's nothing too exciting in the sports world. This is kind of the slowest time of the year, right? Because
Kind of.
it's kind of just nothing going on, and
I
then well,
wouldn't
in two,
say
in two
okay.
weeks
I wouldn't.
we
I
have March
wouldn't say
Madness
it's
coming up.
like the slowest time. The slowest time of the year for me is like around the All Star break in baseball. Like in
Yeah,
because
sure. You're big into baseball, though.
yeah, but I mean it's like there's dude. Those are the hardest months, especially to have a sports podcast because all from what from the middle of June until training camp opens, the end of July, you got like 6 weeks where all you have is baseball to talk about.
Yeah, no, that's true. But
You
yeah,
know,
that's
after
true.
the NBA finals are
Yeah,
over.
because like we're in a slow time, but it's like we're getting March Madness is coming up, and then you got the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
NFL
it's
coming up.
slow time, but like yeah, you got basketball and hockey are live. Training camp just or spring training just started. You have the draft. You know, you got the combine coming up. Hey, you want to hear something kind of crazy?
What?
Like I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it, but if we Sports and Tacos might be able to go have a booth at the NFL draft.
Dang.
Like, and you have to. It's not easy to do. Like Dave Stevens, one of our homies, the guy that got us into Radio Row, was like, if you do it, like you have to do it. And apparently, if you get the pass, you have to show up, or they will never give you another pass again.
Dang.
So I was talking to Tony and Bama. I was just like, dudes, like I know we can't afford to do this, but can we afford? Can we afford? The real question, Joe, is can we afford not to do it?
Well, yeah, that's what I. Is it really that like outrageous to go to it, or like what would be the expenses on it?
I mean, I guess a plane flight, some cheap hotel rooms. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
and
We
then
could all just crash in one room in like a Hotel 6. That would be amazing. Being the Tony for like 3 straight nights.
I don't know if I could do that. I think I would just dish out of my own Motel 6. Spend the extra $100 a night.
Listening to Tony and Bama at like 2 in the
Yeah,
morning. Oh
yeah,
my God.
I don't know if I could do that.
So
I'm in my 30s now, Spencer. I can't deal that. Can't deal with that anymore.
I don't believe you for 1 second. Maybe not like in your 20s, but okay, maybe you can only do it like once a week instead of like every day.
It's like once every other weekend.
Once every yeah, I remember when I got to that point, I was just like, wow, this is not as easy as it used to be.
Well, the problem is that it's just like the 2 day hangovers. It's like if I drink
Yeah,
heavy, it's
dude.
like not even one day. It's like the next day I still feel like crap, and it's like this
See, you
is
see
not
these,
worth
you
it.
see these gray hairs in this
I was
beard.
gonna say
That's
something
from
about
the.
it. I didn't want to. I didn't want to call you out live on the pod, dude. It looks like you're looking a little scruffy there. Looks
I
like
like it, kind of.
you're
I don't
going.
know. Well, like Ian. Okay, so listen, Ian, my realtor buddy Ian. You know, he thinks I should go for the Jack Nicholson look.
He doesn't look good, dude.
He's all you'll get all the crazy guy roles.
Yeah, you could pull it off.
I was kind of thinking about just to have my hair all long and like bald and like get
That
all
would be
crazy.
like long on
Like
the sides and bald up top.
yes, like Jack Nicholson style, or
Yeah,
like Bill Murray and Kingpin.
yeah. There you go.
Dude, should I
You
do
would
it?
pull.
What are
You
your
should.
thoughts?
I 10 out of 10 do it.
You think I should
You'd
rock
pull.
some?
You'd pull some hotties.
But you got to be a star to rock it, or else they're gonna be like,
Well,
"Who's
you
the
are a
homeless
star,
guy?"
dude. You'll be on the booth on Sports and Tacos on draft night, dude.
Looking like Jack Nicholson with just the craziest hair ever,
Yeah.
like mad scientist look.
Be like, Shador, over here. I'll come
Dude,
and talk to you.
dude, maybe. Okay, so I'm thinking about it. So I haven't shaved anything in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I haven't, bro. I have not shaved my head in like 22 years.
Damn. Yeah.
Like since 2003, I've been shaving my head.
It's the most hair I've seen you have.
So, anyways, we could chat about what we were talking about last night. You heard about Wemby, dude? That is
Oh
such a
yeah, that's a bummer.
bummer. I
That's a
mean,
bummer.
bro,
Hopefully, it's just his shoulder, because that's kind of what ended Chris Bosch's career. Is like those blood clots went to his lungs and stuff, and he had to pretty
I
much stop.
know. See, that's what I mean. It's
So
not so
let's
much
hope
that it's like just a shoulder. It's just the fact that
it's blood
blood
clots.
clots in general.
Yeah, no, that's scary for sure. Hopefully it's nothing bad. Like Brandon Ingram had the same thing happen to him, and he's fine now. But
That's
I
good.
just don't.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear some like positive,
Yeah,
like
like Brandon, the same thing happened to Brandon Ingram. He had blood clots like in his shoulder, and then the next year he won Most Improved Player, and he's playing now. So it wasn't like it was any. But there's definitely a more of a risk, I think, with blood clots than there is like a
oh,
dislocated
bro, you could
shoulder.
die. Yeah, it's not. It's not
You
like a blown out knee. It's like a
yeah,
blown out
yeah,
life.
it's blood
Like,
clots,
oh,
like health.
sorry, we told you to keep playing, and now you're dead.
Yeah, it's like life and death. So yeah, it is a
Uh,
bummer, but yeah,
'Cause, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Wemby is the thing that has me like the most excited about basically the NBA. I mean, just the second coming of Wilt Chamberlain. Because the last time we had the second coming of Wilt Chamberlain was Greg Oden, who you might not
Oh, I
remember.
remember. Yeah, I remember.
Remember Greg Oden? He
Fuck
was
yeah.
actually, dude. You know, he was actually picked before Kevin Durant.
Yeah, he was number one.
Yeah, he was number
And then like
one, and
yeah,
then
and like Brandon Roy was in that draft too. And he
yeah,
had
then double freaking immediately double microfracture surgeries, and he
yeah.
never even had a career.
No, I remember that. Played for Ohio State. He was a
And
beast at Ohio State.
like Wemby is just, I mean, dude, he's got the potential to have like I mean, the guy has the potential to have like a 30, 20, 10, 10 game
Yeah,
in his
no,
life.
no, you're right. And it's just so it's like blood clots. You think it would be like his like legs giving out or something. It's like so
Yeah,
like blood clots, something that he can't even like control. You know?
something weird like that. So I,
Yeah.
yeah, when I heard that the other day, I was just like, oh my effing,
No,
like
that
F
sucks.
F.
It sucks.
You know, I'm not even a Spurs fan, but I mean, just I'm always a fan of just a freak of nature like the
Yeah,
Grizz.
no doubt. Me too. I'd like to see him play this year. I would have liked to see him try to get into like the playoffs too, and now that's pretty much done for.
And then yeah, we were talking about basically like uh how players like LeBron James, Nolan Ryan, Emmett Smith, Walter Payton are able to just stay. It's so rare
That
to
staying with
have
longevity.
that much success for that long of time.
Yeah, I mean, they say LeBron spends like $1 million a year on his body. You know, obviously,
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady too spends a lot of money on his body, and I think it pays off over time. You know what I mean? If you eat right, stay healthy, get the right physicians, right
And we
dietitians.
and basically what we were wondering, is it luck? Is it DNA? Is
I think it's a
it
little bit of everything.
conditioning? Like, how did Nolan Ryan, bro? He was throwing like 97 miles an hour in his 26th year of Major League
Yeah,
Baseball.
that one's pretty mind blowing,
Like,
especially in that day and age.
I mean, just so it like whenever, and you know, and I also mentioned every year in the NFL draft, you know, you have just this group of future superstars. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And when you go back and look at an NFL draft first round from like 10 years ago or something.
There won't be a
Literally of
no.
that huge class, like one
Yeah,
usually
one
is
or
a Hall of Famer,
yeah,
maybe two.
yeah.
Occasionally there will be like three or four, and it's like an amazing draft class.
Hmm.
But you go back and you look, and you're just like that's
No,
how rare it is and how hard it is, and it just makes me like I don't. I just feel bad for Wemby because the guy is literally could be the next Wilt Chamberlain, and then just out of nowhere you get this freaking blood clot thing.
yeah. Well, hopefully it's no big deal, and he's back on the court next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. But
Yeah.
you know, like
So,
Chris Bosh would have been a super amazing super. He still was a star,
yeah, but he wasn't.
but it definitely ended his career
Yeah,
earlier than it should have. You
than
know what I'm saying?
expected. Yeah, 100%.
So it's just
But
like
that was blood
so
clots in his lungs. Lungs and shoulders, I feel like, are different. You know.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but it's just like I don't know, sucky.
Yeah.
So we were chatting about that. We were chatting about how horrible the referees in the NBA are, and
They are a
we were
joke.
talking about Tim Donaghy, and basically I posed the question like, do you think somewhere in major sports there's actually games being rigged?
I think so, dude. I think like players know they're like player props and stuff. Like you just heard about Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, right?
Yeah,
That whole thing. Like I think there's other players doing that. I just think he was stupid and got caught. You know,
yeah.
like I 100% think there's like some players who probably know their refs who know the props and they like send a text over to a buddy being like, I know the information on this. Do I think like players and refs are like full like rigging games? I don't know about that, but I 100% think there's some like shady stuff going on with like player props and whatnot.
And it
People are
it
stupid.
kind of just comes down to like, is what we're watching real? You know,
The
and
whole is it?
I,
Yeah, I don't know. I like to think it's not and just enjoy the game, or even if it is fake, I'm still going to enjoy it. You know?
yeah, I get it, but it's just like especially here because I've been listening to lots of Hawks games, and like the fans here, like Trey Young, they feel that the refs absolutely hate Trey Young, and so he's and the other night he went out and was just like
Oh, he's a
blasting.
baller, dude. I like Trey Young. He's sweet.
Oh, he's amazing. I don't know, like either A, why they don't put a team around him, or B, why he hasn't been traded to a actual team
The
that's going to
actual
win
winning
things.
team. Yeah.
Yeah, like
He's
why are they
probably
just
what is it?
keeping him
He's
around?
probably like a god out there in Atlanta, huh? I think
He
some people
is.
I think some people kind of like that, like being the king of their town. Like Damian Lillard stayed with Portland for probably longer than he should have when they were horrible, but it was like he was the king, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you play to win the game.
No, that's true. It's true too.
I mean, whatever. It's not like you really control that as a player. But point, I don't know. Just uh, like there's just weird things happening, and it just, you know, basically what I was saying was if Tim Donaghy it was possible, then anything is possible.
Well, yeah, and
And
with technology now today, that's like he
and
was doing
these,
that 20, 30 years ago.
and you know, now you got Hollywood all up in sports. You
Hmm.
got, games are being streamed on Hulu and Disney and Netflix. So it also, like, knowing that Hollywood at the end of the day it's just entertainment, you know?
Yeah, there
Like,
could be some money grabs
how
in there.
how legit is it really? And basically, I just posed the question. You know, do you think that somewhere in the four major sports there are games that are being rigged? And I asked that question. Yes or no?
I don't know if the games are getting rigged. I think there's probably like some like player prop betting going on. But I don't know. I'd like to think that these players who like, have worked their whole lives to like make the NFL or make the NBA, like when they get there, it's like, shoot, I've made it. Like I think it would be a hard time believing there's some guy in the higher up being like, you have to like, tell a player like Patrick Mahomes, be like, you need to throw 4 interceptions this game to lose to make
Right.
Hollywood happy. You know what I mean? I would have a hard time believing Patrick Mahomes is like, yeah, okay, let's do that. Or
Well,
Tom
and
Brady,
like
Drew Brees. You know what I mean?
with Donaghy, you didn't. It didn't. The outcome of the game wasn't affected. He was throwing the games for the over.
Yeah.
So every trip down the floor, both teams were getting. It was a foul, a foul, a foul, a foul, a foul, a foul.
Getting
So
points.
everyone was shooting a million free throws, so the game would go over.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like there probably is some of that going on, just with like the sports books and how big those are now. Like they
And
have to.
I think that's why it took so long to catch him, because it wasn't necessarily affecting the who won or lost.
It was
It
affecting
was
the
the
overs.
over under.
Yeah.
And I could see where in a football game, if you get, there's a ref, he's just throwing pass interference, pass interference, pass interference. Next thing you know, like they're on the 5 yard line and scoring again.
That's obvious. Yeah, when you're just doing like calling fouls for both teams to get the over, you don't really see it as much.
Yeah, as opposed to like, yeah, it's one team winning versus another team or covering or whatever. So we talked about that. We didn't really even dive into too much like actual nuts and bolts. I had heard on Sports Talk in Atlanta recently. Okay, you remember like a week ago, America beat Canada 3-1, and there was all the brawls,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like everybody was super excited about hockey, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is going to be the greatest thing for hockey ever! It's going to be as popular as basketball." Blah blah blah. Which, hey, whatever. That's awesome. I love hockey. But they were talking about. I was listening to Sports Talk about how hockey had a few years back signed a big deal with ESPN, and apparently, Gary Bettman, they are pissed at ESPN about that
Mhm.
deal. They feel that ESPN is intentionally not marketing hockey, and I was kind of wondering to myself why. And if you think about it, this is just me, my conspiracy theory brain. ESPN is owned by Disney. I think that they intentionally don't market hockey because it's a violent sport.
Yeah,
It's not, it doesn't fit the Disney agenda.
and it's blue collar, like
Yeah.
hockey. Yeah, and it's like, yeah. No, I don't think you're wrong on that.
Uh, Unlike a 30-minute episode of Sports Center, you get like maybe what,
No,
like
no
two
hockey.
minutes,
Yeah,
two
you don't
minutes
get
of
it's
hockey stuff.
all NBA and NFL.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
I don't think you're wrong on that one.
because if you were to properly market hockey, I mean, honestly, like it is one of my grandpa played minor league hockey and he was from Boston, and he was like, "This hockey's the greatest sport in the world.
It's
You
pretty
guys,
sweet.
you guys are just stupid. You young punks are just dumb." Basically, is what he
Hmm.
would say. You know, so I don't know. Any thoughts on hockey being intentionally not
I
marketed?
have heard that with ESPN because they own like the NHL or whatever. They own the rights and like they don't show. I've heard this before, and I think my thoughts was like I don't think you're wrong. I think it's just owned by Disney. They want to like have a certain message be put out, and I think hockey doesn't fit that narrative with it being violent and
So,
um,
but and I guess it wouldn't have even been a topic other than the fact that they had that amazing, you got all the USA Canada beef.
the
And
Four
then you had,
Nations.
yeah, then you had that game, and then they beat us in the second game in overtime, and people were like crazy excited to watch those games. People were going to
Mhm.
bars. People were very excited about hockey there for a minute, and now it's just going to be back to okay, back to regular old,
Hockey.
hockey.
Yeah, well, maybe the NBA should take some notes on how to run an All Star game. Because like the NHL, like everyone was watching that. That was sweet. You know what I mean? Like I watched the second game between USA and Canada, and I'm not really. I like it when like the Avs are in the playoffs, but it's not like I'm a hockey nerd by any means.
Right.
But it's like that pretty much replaced the All Star weekend, and then you look at what the NBA does with the All Star weekend, and it's a complete joke.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like why don't you just name people all stars and everybody go have a golf tournament?
Yeah, for real, because no one actually tried.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
think that's the thing with the NHL. It's like these guys are always going to play hard. They're always going to give full effort, and it's like
Yes.
the NBA doesn't do that. And I think
No.
that's kind of why you hear this ratings drop is because it's not like that entertaining when these players aren't trying.
Well, you're getting two things. There's too many 3-point shots. It's kind of boring, getting boring to watch.
Yeah.
And then what is it? The freaking they intentionally what do they call it? They're intentionally giving stars like every other game off and
Oh
stuff.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I forgot. You're and they've been talking about this for a while. Where if you're like a family of four and say,
You save up
whatever,
money for tickets. Yeah.
yeah, say the Lakers are playing Atlanta and you want to take the family to go see LeBron, and LeBron is a healthy scratch,
You'd be
you're probably
pissed.
you're gonna be pissed.
Yeah. No, it's BS. And that just
Like,
didn't
oh
happen. That didn't happen in the Kobe era. It didn't happen in the Jordan era.
no,
It's the LeBron era that started it. Like LeBron,
yeah,
well, the LeBron like era started it. It ended with or it's like Kobe was the last. The Kobe Duncan era was the last era of like playing hard every single night.
yeah. So I don't think that's helping the NBA at the moment. I don't know how you fix it, but it's
Well, the NBA's always kind of been like when the playoffs start, the ratings are going to go up, especially if it's like the Lakers Nuggets or Lakers Warriors series. Then
true.
you can watch.
That's true, and when NBA playoffs start, they have no competition other than regular season baseball.
Yeah, no, NBA playoffs are sweet.
Because I mean, what is it, April all the way to like the middle of June?
Yeah, like end of June. Like I feel like the finals ends like Fourth of July.
It's like 2 months long. It is pretty awesome because they're
No,
only
I love the NBA playoffs.
so. And that was pretty much like I think that was pretty much the main topics, at least of the show last night. We had guy Dave Stevens on. Love Dave Stevens. He's a seven-time Emmy winner. He was the editor, the chief editor at SportsCenter for 20 years. Like in the
And
greatest era of SportsCenter,
when Sports Center was Sports
back
Center,
in the Dan Patrick, Keith Olbermann era.
Keith Olbermann sucks now.
Yeah, but I mean, like that was the heyday of
Yeah,
SportsCenter.
no, no doubt.
So
Stuart
I
Scott.
think I think that's all I think that's all I really got for today, at least in regards to sports ball. You got anything else?
Not much, man. The Lakers. Luca looked good against the Nuggets the other night. He might be
Yeah.
back. Might be back to Luca.
Like
So
I was saying, I think that trade's going to work out for the Lakers because I
dude,
think
I'm kind of mad.
Luka
The
is
Lakers were like,
going. He's gonna feel shame about being a fatty, and he's gonna drop that weight and just become a
yeah,
beast.
he's gonna be sweet. I'm just kind of the Lakers might have a chance at the finals this year.
Yeah, could you
They
imagine
might.
that?
They might, dude. They were like, I was looking at it like literally probably a week before Luka Doncic's trade. They were like plus like 3,500, and now they're like plus like 1,500. I'm like, shit, I should have thrown like $25 on that plus 3,500, dude. It'd be
Yep.
nice. It'd be nice. I'd be feeling good about it.
Yeah, I should take a look at some of the
I think
futures
I
stuff.
think Celtics are number one at like plus 230. Then it's like the
Oh, and I
Thunder.
hate the Celtics, dude. They're
I know, I know.
so boring, man. I
No,
mean, I
well,
know they won it
let's do
all,
a
but they're
quick
just
little. Besides
check
the
it.
besides the Thunder, the Celtics, they're both plus 210. You got the Cavs at plus 650. The
That's
Nuggets
dude. If
at
everybody stays healthy there, I mean, that's a
I
good
don't
ass
know.
team.
Nuggets plus 1,500. Knicks plus
Okay,
1,600. Lakers plus
Nuggies.
1,700.
What I mean, I haven't been
I think
following it.
If Jamal Murray can play like the way he's been playing, the Nuggets have a shot because Jamal's been hot.
Have
And
you been? You still live in Denver, so
Mhm.
is Russell Westbrook been doing much?
Yeah, Westbrook's been playing well. I think he's finally kind of accepted his. I think he has to step back and not play hero ball every single time. You know what I
Right,
mean? With
right.
Jokic and Murray, and I think he's kind of accepted the role. He's been playing well in Denver.
Hmm.
He hasn't been as crazy. Uh,
But if they had to play, like is he a big enough addition? So okay, in the West,
It's the Thunder are their team to beat. The Thunder are really good. Their defense is nuts,
hmm.
which
Do you
is a
think
pretty
that?
good recipe for the NBA playoffs.
Do you think that the modern Denver Nuggets are good enough to knock off OKC?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I think it'd be a series.
Yeah.
I think the teams in the West, it's going to be the Nuggets, the Lakers, or the Thunder. I think the Rockets are like the second best team. I just don't think. I think they've got too many young guys. It's kind of like they're
Yeah.
playing above expectation right now.
Yeah, that's the one other thing because the Rockets and the Spurs were my like outside picks to make the playoffs this year.
Well, the Rockets are going to make the Rockets will probably be like the two
Well, the
seed.
Rockets ain't doing, or the Spurs ain't doing anything now with Wemby out the rest of the season.
The Rockets are plus. They're almost plus 10,000. They're plus. Jesus,
They're so young, dude.
I know, but I think they're like literally the second best team in the NBA right now.
That might be a good
Or
little.
no, they're in the 5 seed. They were in the two
See,
seed for a while.
with stuff like that, like I've always wondered about, maybe not winning the whole thing, but if you couldn't get some odds to make it to the West Finals,
Western Conference Finals. Yeah,
yeah, I wonder if there's any odds out there like that. I don't know.
conference winner. You can do division winner.
You can do division. They ain't winning the division. Well,
Celtics. You can bet on the Celtics to win 3 straight. 24. So last year, 25, 26 plus 750. You get for them to be a dynasty.
I mean, are they a dynasty?
Because they won last year. So if they
I know,
won,
but all they did was win one.
well, yeah, no, I'm
You know,
saying you could bet on them to be a dynasty.
you can't really talk about a dynasty until you've won two in a row
You
of
know,
anything.
that's a good point.
You know, like just winning two in a row, if anything, is hard. It's
Yeah.
not as hard in the NBA as like the NFL or like maybe MLB, but like are they? I don't know, man. They annoy me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they don't have any just like superstars. Maybe they do now, but just the Celtics. They
Yeah,
just
I'm not a Celtics fan, dude. Fuck the
they
Celtics.
just they just annoy me.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right. Well, spring training has started. Other than Shohei is already throwing like 95 miles an hour off the mound. I don't got anything for spring training. I guess Soto hit a home run like when his first at bat as a Met.
That's cool.
You know, but that's it. That's all I got for right now. So,
Cool. Well, yeah, it's pretty slow sports speak. So
did you go do your hiking thing already, or is that
I
coming up?
did. I went to a rock climbing gym. It was pretty intense.
Was it beast mode?
It was pretty hard, dude. My forearms are crushing me right now.
I bet.
Forearms. So yeah, I worked my forearms a lot, but it was pretty fun.
Nice, nice. All right, dude. Well, that's all that's going on in Atlanta. Let's do this again next week.
All right, brother.
Okay,
I'll see you
cool.
next week.
All right, adios.
Later.